Alongside the starters of X and Y, there are another group of Pokemon that seem like somewhat of a no-brainer to get a Mega Evolution. A trio with the powers to command the gifts of life, bestow unrelented death, and the ability to be a guy. Legends EA is a sequel to Pokemon Legends Arceus, a game which gave the original box legendaries of the Sinnoh region these neat origin forms which bring them closer to the appearance of the llama god Arceus. The third member of their trio has had its origin form since Pokemon Platinum, but these two were only given theirs more recently. Similarly, in the Gen 6 sequel to Ruby and Sapphire, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, their box legendaries, Groudon and Kyogre, were each given new Mega Evolution-like forms named Primal Reversions that brought the two to a more ancient, more powerful form, similar to the origin forms of Primal Dialga and Palkia. The third member of the Weather Trio, however, Rayquaza, only got a Mega form since it ate a chunk of the meteorite responsible for giving Pokemon Mega abilities in the first place. Now, with all this scene-setting stuff out of the way, let's get into the main section of the video, where I use my artistic skills and cursed techniques of making Pokemon look slightly different to hypothesize on what I think a Mega Evolution for Xerneas, Yveltal and Zygarde could look like. So go whack your kettle on, pour yourself a cup of tea, and let me show you what I've made this time. When I make my new forms for Pokemon, I like to give them plenty of lore to accompany them, and this time is no different. The whole concept behind the Generation 6 legendary trio is related to Norse mythology and the relationships between life and death. Xerneas represents the stag, Yggdrasil, and the stags that consume the Tree of Life, Yggdrasil, and is capable of using its power to give everlasting life. Yveltal is likely designed after the hawk that sits atop the same world tree and has the power to take life. Zygarde is likely based off of the three children of Loki, the trickster god, and is responsible for observing the ecosystems around it, only stepping in when it detects an imbalance, which may be caused by an overabundance of death or life. As the master of the Aura Trio, Zygarde is the one who has to step in when Xerneas and Yveltal decide to be a little bit silly and cause little environmental calamities, using its overwhelming 100% aura to put the beefing legends in timeout. To come up with the concept behind the trio, I decided to go live on my YouTube channel to get your input on what I should do for this video. An unraveling Mega Zygarde was a super cool idea and led the way towards all three final designs that I landed on, the first of which was Mega Xerneas. Normally, Xerneas is a statuesque Pokemon with a golden crown of rainbow antlers that light up when it attacks. This Pokemon is one of my personal favorites, although its standard non-lit up look does let it down a little bit. The Mega design for this Pokemon is a form that is designed specifically to take down an unruly Mega Zygarde, which is a ground dragon type Pokemon. So Mega Xerneas acquires a new secondary typing that coincidentally also suits its tree-based look, especially how it looks in its cocoon form. At first, I wasn't super sure about giving it the grass typing, since as much as I adore the type, grass type is kinda ass. But I decided to go with it anyways, since the tree look just makes sense, and Xerneas naturally gets some strong grass moves, like Hornleech. When choosing the aesthetics of the new Mega Evolution, I initially wanted to go with an ash tree, since that's what Yggdrasil is. But someone in chat mentioned the most girly pop tree of them all, the Weeping Willow. Now, she's already pretty gorge, but I wanted to push it even further. So I took inspiration from the plant that is the queen of serving Snorunt, the Wisteria. With the power of plants and a shot of rainbow magic, we have Mega Xerneas. I elongated Xerneas' already slender form and emphasized its long legs by giving it twisted branch-like ends, flowing with the golden life energy that's present across the entirety of Xerneas' body. The antlers crowning its head have increased in size and length too, sprouting with wisteria-like blossoms that cascade like a floral waterfall, the petals scattering in the wind as the god of life moves. It floats serenely, calmly analyzing its environment and wielding its benevolent powers with just certainty. This Pokemon takes this form when the one who balances needs balancing, and it does so by using its enhanced bulk to withstand all that its enemies throw at it, while it harnesses life energy to boost itself to even greater heights. Mega Xerneas' strategy is to ingrain itself into the ecosystem around it and draw in its power with Geomancy. This Pokemon's new ability, Fairy Forest, renders all defending opponents' dragon typing null and void, allowing it and allies to hit grass and water moves, for example, for super effective damage. On top of this, its previous fairy boosting effects have remained and are now accompanied with a further grass type boost. Mega Xerneas is a form only seen under the most dire of circumstances. Those that experience it are said to live forever. However, if you are so unfortuitous as to see this beautiful sight, something is surely very wrong. The second of the Aura trio, Yveltal, is a gigantic flying bird of death that destroys its enemies by T-posing at them. This murder chicken steals the life force of all living things around it, turning them into stone husks. As a result, Yveltal doesn't have any friends. For my Mega Evolution, Yveltal takes on this hyper-powered evolution when the balance of death is tipped. For this form, I took inspiration from these Pokemon's Nordic origins and included a new typing to tie it all together as an anti-Zygarde specialist. The Jotun are a race of giants in Nordic mythology, although they aren't all necessarily giant nor associated with the ice that they're often tied to today. In popular media, like the Marvel franchise, the frost giants are huge blue hominids that live in intense cold. Since ice type is beneficial against both dragon and ground typings, it seems second nature to bring this typing into Mega Yveltal's design. Encompassed in ice and snow, Mega Yveltal is a Pokemon that inflicts biting frost upon everything surrounding it, the chills sapping the strength from the ground upon which it perches. Although still capable of short bursts of flight, Mega Yveltal sends its icy death seeping into the earth below it, tapping into the roots of everything near it. Its ice pick-like claws on its wings sit neatly, and the talons on its tail have broken free of the tail that has become a fan of feather-like appendages that each are capable of piercing anything in its surroundings and draining its life force. The grey smoke-like fur around its neck has given way to pure ice and snow that cover everything in its wake in a layer of frigid frost. Mega Yveltal is a dark ice type, and although it has lost its ground type immunity, it makes up for it with enhanced stats and a new ability in Dark Frost. This ability converts all normal moves to dark and all flying moves to ice, allowing this Pokemon to hit its opponents with a variety of stab moves, such as devastating ice-type life-stealing Oblivion Wings. Mega Yveltal only uses its power when its surrounding ecosystems are on the verge of collapse, and drastic action must be taken. You can tell when you're in a place that once saw its power by the complete absence of life and a permafrost so intense that you can still feel the ice seep through your shoes, and some suspicious looking frozen rocks that look as though they may have been running for their life before it was ripped from them by icy, cruel talons. The final member of the Aura trio is the Master, the one that this new game will center on. It's Zygarde, the Aura Pokemon. This guy has 3 in-game forms plus 2 extra ones from the anime. Bro's greedy. Its 10% form takes on the appearance of a speedy Doberman Pinscher-like dog, likely based off of the Fenrir, one of the Norse god Loki's children. The second and most commonly seen form is the 50% form, that also has Norse inspirations in another of Loki's kids, Jormungandr, the wild serpent that encircles the planet and eats its own tail, much like my cat does when he gets a leaf stuck to it. The final 100% form is man-shaped, with a bipedal stance, a crown, and these cape-winged things. This dude is probably inspired by Hel, third of Loki's children, and the goddess of death. Under typical circumstances, Zygarde's role in the Pokemon universe is to silently observe the ecosystem around it, using its scattered cells to monitor the land, and only stepping in when the powers of life and death are out of balance. But what would happen if the Order Pokemon was thrown into disarray? Zygarde is what happens when this already unstable Pokemon is corrupted by the overwhelming power of Mega Evolution, unable to hold its form together, but equally incapable of fully dispersing its superpowered cells, resulting in a writhing mass of a creature that lashes out at everything surrounding it, and destroying everything it comes across as it struggles to contain its infinite energy. It takes the form of a grotesque mixture of its 50 and 100% forms, the gaping maw on its stomach splitting open as it lumbers forward on its 2 remaining arms, dragging its partially serpentine lower body forward. The head of its 100% form is little more than a crown upon its split open crest, the cells from its cape and neck frill endlessly dispersing and regenerating. The light leaking from its tricolored mouth fluctuates as it screams in pain and is blinding to see. This unstable Pokemon loses its previous ability as all attempts to balance the ecosystem go out the window, and it is instead replaced with the ability chain reaction. This ability raises Mega Zygarde's attacks by 1 stage per turn, but inversely also reduces both defenses by a stage per turn. This Pokemon is designed to be a boss, getting similarly stronger and weaker every time it moves. The stats that were already high are even higher, and with its beefy HP stat, it's very difficult to take down until its defenses have naturally been eroded by its unstable nature. But will you be able to withstand its monumental attacks until then? Mega Zygarde is like a nuclear reaction. Once it begins its rampage, it is almost impossible to stop it before it causes irreparable damage to everything in its vicinity. The only thing that can stop it is the powers of life and death themselves. Which of my Mega Evolutions did you like best? Let me know in the comments below, and give me a like and a sub while you're at it. Join the Patreon to support me in my video making efforts, and to join the PokeRap. You helped me be the best I ever was, to pay my rent, yeah, that's my cause. Lucas Gates, Immortal Absol, Clara, Avery, Rachel Lynn, Lord Fellington, Ryan McVie, Brent Kearney, DJ Colio 3. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all, Patreon. SDH, Menko the Team Maker Hair, V, Metal Mew, EX, Happy Face, and that's all the Patreons. Thank you so much, I love all of you. That's all I got for this one. If you want in, join the Patreon.